This one's actually interesting because, to be honest, it's one of the movies that that I was the most hyped for this year. Because I love this franchise with with every bone in my body. I really do. It's probably my favorite film franchise out right now. But this one is just different. Now, is this movie called F9, F9 The Fast Saga, or Fast and Furious 9? I I don't know what to title this video. But F9 is the ninth main film in the Fast and Furious franchise, but the 10th actual one. And and if you've been watching since the beginning, then there's definitely a point where it shifted and started taking itself less and less seriously. And according to most people, that's when it started getting interesting. But according to some people, that's when it started getting stupid. I don't know. I really like the Dwayne Johnson era, and I felt like his absence would definitely be noticeable in F9. That was one of the things I was worried about going in. There's two other things I was worried about, but Luke Hobbs not being there anymore, I was concerned about because, in my opinion, he made Fast 5, and he was definitely one of the main draws for 6, 7, and 8, especially since Dom was, supposed to be the bad guy in 8. I figured that Luke would pretty much take over as the leader of the team, and I was pretty much right. But he's not there, and that kind of hurts the film, and you're definitely going to miss him when you're watching this, especially if you've seen Hobbs and Shaw. But the plot of this one, which is probably the thinnest plot in a Fast and Furious movie, at least lately. Cypher, from the last movie, from F8, has been captured, and she's working with the son of this foreign dictator who wants to control the world with tech. So they have this thing, this MacGuffin called Project Ares that can pretty much override anything that runs on code and control it. And so the plan is to use John Cena, who is Dom's brother, Jacob Toretto in this movie, as the muscle necessary. He's like a mercenary in this movie, I guess. Use him to get the things that they need to enact the plan. That's pretty much it. Most of the most of the movie is just filling in the gaps of who's Jacob and why do I care that Dom and Mia have a brother, especially if they never talked about him before. And also Han's back, so we have to figure out how Han being back makes sense in this movie. Those were the other two things I was worried about. Is this movie going to be long enough to explain away both of those things in a satisfying way? Sure. Now, if you're anything like me and you saw the last two Fast and Furious movies, then you're probably wondering, what about God's Eye? Is God's Eye not going to be helpful to use in tandem with Project Ares? Those sound like pretty good things for Cypher to have both of. I don't really remember what happened to God's Eye, but I highly doubt that the people behind this movie remember what happened to it either. So I'm not too worried about that, I guess. Now, if we're being honest, when I heard that John Cena was supposed to be Dom's brother in this movie, certain plot elements became inevitable, because if he's his brother, then that means that's his family. And you know that to Dominic Toretto, nothing means more to him than family. So in that train of thinking, there are things that will happen in this movie that you will see coming a mile away. Now, it's up to you whether or not it's satisfying when it actually happens. To me, I was fine with it, I guess. I could have used a little bit more of the getting to this point, but whatever. Especially because it all seems one-sided, and that's what I don't like. Maybe because I have brother issues. I have major brother issues, but I don't know. On the bright side, Han's back. Hashtag justice for Han. Justice is served. Han is back. Doesn't really do anything, though. But that's okay. He'll be in the next one. And the 11th one. Han! Now, Vin Diesel isn't a very expressive or emotive actor. At least not in these movies. Dominic Toretto is a very stoic character who has moments of vulnerability with the people that he cares about most. So as far as the drama between Dominic and Jacob as what their brotherly feud is, John has to do most of the legwork for that. And I think he does a pretty okay job. John Cena is a good actor. I don't know why people seem to think that all wrestlers make bad actors. John Cena is a good actor. He's also hilarious. If you watch Blockers and Playing with Fire, he's hilarious. I'm super excited for the Suicide Squad. But John has to do a lot of the legwork for like the beef between the brothers, and a lot of it is also covered through flashbacks. And unfortunately, those flashbacks kind of just like, I don't know. I never felt like they were adding to the story. It's maybe I'm flashbacked out because of Arrow. I just don't find flashback sequences to be a proper replacement for just fleshing the story out here and now. Flashbacks are totally fine. They can be used as liberally as you want to, as long as they're not substituting for current character development. Don't tell your whole story in the past. That's how I feel, at least. And this movie kind of does that. But I get it. There wasn't much else they could do because they waited until the 9th movie in the franchise to say that Dom and Mia have a brother. And John, he didn't speak a lick of Spanish in the movie. I really wanted to hear what John Cena's white ass sounded like speaking Spanish. I'm like, is it Dom Cuban? They had to have different mothers, bro. It's ridiculous. But whatever, I guess. It's fine. It's just like, I don't know. The guy that got to play young Dom, though, he looks like he could become Vin Diesel, I guess. Sure. This movie also has Francis Ngannou in it. And it's funny because I remember Gina Carano being in Fast 6. Ronda Rousey being in 7. But I don't know if there's a UFC fighter in 8. So it would be weird for them to just skip it in 8 and just bring it back in 9. But let's talk about the things that I really did like in this movie. Because overall, I did enjoy this movie. Tej and Roman, I love those two together. Honestly, I don't think I would like Roman that much if they didn't pair him with Tej. Ludacris is probably my favorite actor in these movies. Well, at least he plays my favorite character. The Rock is probably my favorite up until he left. But like, I love Tej. Tej and Roman together, literally the best comedic pairing. Throwing Ramsey in, she adds to it sometimes, she takes away from it sometimes. She's not perfect to set up a trio. Tej and Roman, though, perfect duo. They've been hilarious together since, 6? And I love every bit of it. I'm very glad that somebody decided to stick the black guys together and keep them there. Because, I mean, like, they're just funny together. They just have a unique type of banter that neither of those characters rather could have with any of the others. So as long as they keep making these movies, just keep Tej and Roman together, you'll always have at least a pretty good amount of comedy. As you saw from the trailer, they're messing with magnets now. The magnets were one of the dumbest things I've seen in any of these movies. It's so weird because like I love the action. The action is like, it's why you watch Fast and Furious, right? Car stunts and all that. And like the stakes have been gradually getting higher, but as you've also seen from the trailers, they're going to space in this one. And it's not like they're doing like a whole space mission or anything like that. They're just going to space. But it's like, they're just going to space. But I'm like, well, now what? You know? Light speed travel? Because apparently, according to Vin Diesel, this is supposed to be the first in a trilogy that ends the franchise. So I'm assuming that 10 and 11 will be the last movies. I don't know what else they could do, honestly. Especially because, like, they keep introducing all these things and ideas from previous movies that just go away, you know? Like, Deckard Shaw would have been very nice to have in this movie. Because there's a part where, you've seen from the trailer, Dom goes and talks to Queenie, Deckard and Owen's mom. And she's like, well, are you looking for one of my sons? And Dom's like, not this time. And I'm like, well, why not? Why would you not want Deckard or Owen Shaw when they are options? Sure, you beat the shit out of both of them, but they're good to have, right? It's like they both seem pretty useful, at least I feel like. I don't know. And okay, as we all know, back in 2015, I believe, I think it was like late 2014, Paul Walker tragically passed away. And as such, he has not been able to reprise his role as Brian in these movies. I really wish they would just say that Brian died in the canon of the movies, because they keep doing, they have to keep making stuff up for why Brian's not getting involved. Like, oh, he's just not doing it anymore. But to me, it's so not in character for Brian to get involved, especially now that Dom's brother is causing trouble. Brian's like, well, Dom's my brother too, you know? Legally and metaphorically. So why would, if Brian, the character, is still alive, why would he not get involved? Or at least just, have him still be in the movies, but reduce his role and just have his brother play him and do the face tracking that you did in Furious 7. It was pretty much spot on, and the technology is no doubt better now 6 years later. I don't know. It's weird to me. Because, like, the longer they continue to pretend that Brian is still, in this world, the more weird it is for him to not be helping out his friends. But, I don't know. I guess there's nothing that can be done about that. Speaking of out of character, Dom in the flashbacks did something that was very out of character for him, and I didn't like it. I didn't like that at all. Overall, though, this movie's got heart, it's got drama, it's got action, it's got suspense, it's got tension. Those last two things will depend on who you are as a person and whether or not you're still engaged in the Fast and Furious plot. It's not my favorite, and it's not my least favorite. It sits right about in the middle. It'll never, I don't think the franchise will ever hit Fast 5, but I also don't think it'll ever come down as low as Too Fast, Too Furious. So, I think, I don't know. If I were to rate this puppy, F9 is worth the price of admission. Maybe worth buying on Blu-ray if you want to get drunk and have a good time with your friends and watch a movie, but definitely worth the price of admission. For sure. But F9, the final FNAF Furious. Have you seen it? What did you think about it? Whatever it is, whatever you think of it, Lunatic Game is always even more original. Go and click more on the screen. If you want the sticker right here, this sticker right here, you can click the link in the description and it'll take you to it. What are you doing still here, bro? Why are you still here? You know what? Just a little secret for anybody that actually made it to this point in the video. I'm currently part of the ExpressVPN referral program. Like I'm kind of sponsored by ExpressVPN, but I keep forgetting to mention it. This does not count as mentioning it. I like this time that we get. It's been a while since I've just hung around at the end of a video to talk to you guys. Life's going okay. I'm in the process of trying to get a car, so that's cool. Anyway, see you later.